your door. Couldn't bear to call.
Welcome to the Radiant Enchantress show today. Thank you for joining us.
Hello everyone, I'm J. May Jones, co-founder of Magical Earth Retreats, a non-profit reconnecting children and adults to nature, and the Radiant Enchantress Initiative. Today, I would like to welcome Mary Miller to our show. Mary Miller is the CEO of Janitorial Services, and a Cincinnati, Ohio-based award-winning 45-year-old family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company. Jancoa created the Dream Manager program, popularized by the New York Times best-selling book under the same title by Matthew Kelly, encouraging people around the world to achieve their dreams. Mary is known for her positive outlook and desire to help others realize their uniqueness and personal power. In addition to running a business with over 500 full-time employees, Mary is an associate coach with Strategic Coach, working with entrepreneurs at quarterly coaching workshops in Chicago. Mary is an internationally known professional speaker and author of Changing Direction, 10 Choices That Impact Your Dreams. In 2017, Mary received the EY Ohio Valley Entrepreneur of the Year Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition of how her accomplishments have improved so many lives. And I'm so excited to speak with Mary today. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome once again to the Radiant Enchantress Initiative show. I'm honored and so grateful to have Mary Miller on the line with me this morning. And Mary, thank you so much for joining us.
Jane, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I love having great conversations with great women.
Thank you. So, you're such a successful person. I've always looked up to you ever since I met you. I don't know how long ago that was, maybe 7 or 8 years. And your speech at Joe Polish's conference just really touched me to the core about where you came from and how you created the Dream Manager program in your business. So I'd love to hear, where do you come from? What's the story behind this powerful woman that you've become?
Well, thanks, Jane. I appreciate that question. And these type of questions always allow me to pause for a minute and reflect, because I'm a quick start. I like to move forward and move into what I'm working on next. And I think it's really important, I've noticed, for everybody to hit that pause button once in a while to really reflect where have we come from and to learn from those lessons. And that was a big process when I was working on my book that's out now called Changing Direction, to be able to do that. Excuse me. The book starts out the year I turned 30. That was the year the wheels came off of everything in my life. I was going through my second divorce. I had 3 children. I had lost 2 jobs in that year. I was bankrupt, actually evicted on Christmas Eve. I got an eviction notice.
Oh, no.
Everything that could go wrong went wrong that year. And I finally found a new job, and somebody introduced me to a program that was all about enrichment and growing our life and making things better. And all of a sudden I realized I had been trying my first 30 years, try to do everything the way I thought I was supposed to do them, that other people told me I should do, and didn't. I was a faithful person, but I was a strong-willed person, and I got in my way every step of the way. So it was after I was broken down, alcoholics call it when they hit bottom. I'm not an alcoholic, but I had definitely hit my bottom.
Yeah. Well, everybody's bottom is a little bit different. You get there at different ways and for different purposes, and each of us, I think, has different lessons.
I agree. And we all have different lessons that we're supposed to learn from. And what I found, when you're moving so fast, moving forward, and don't take that time to really look at those lessons, then we just keep repeating the mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. And so after you hit this rock bottom, so what was the first thing that happened that made you think that there was something better out there?
I had a nice fight with God. I just start yelling at him, and I remember just crying as hard as I could and saying, "What do you want from me? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing," I thought. And all of a sudden, I just had this peacefulness, and I had found a job. Being a single mom with 3 kids, I decided I didn't want just a 9-to-5 job, making a salary, and that was my max. That was my boundaries, basically. I wanted to be able to create bigger and better opportunities for myself and my children. So I ended up getting a job being a 100% commission salesperson because I just knew I wasn't going to get support from my ex-husband, and I didn't. So I was willing to start taking a leap of faith and following my instinct. And I pray a lot, Jay. My faith is a huge part of who I am and how I've gotten through everything. And when I stopped trying to do things the way other people told me to or to please other people, and that's when life started working for me. That I lived as a people pleaser, nothing worked.
Yeah,
and that really started making a huge difference in my life.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. It's not been that long that I realized that. About 10 years ago, actually, in very similar time as when I met you. So I totally understand.
No wonder we connected so well. We all have this magnet, and it sounds like we were both at a point where we were recalibrating our magnet and what we wanted to attract in our life.
Exactly. So then you got this job, and so how did you do at sales?
I loved it. I did really well. Within the first quarter, I got salesperson of the month, and I heard the sales manager say to one of the other salesmen, "You let a girl beat you."
Yeah. Okay.
That made me angry. It pissed me off.
I know.
That inspired me even more. I'll show them. That's not just a coincidence. Let them come after me. And it did. It just inspired me to do more. And I started having a lot more fun. The company I worked with encouraged and supported their team members to attend a personal growth program at the time. And that really opened my eyes, and I learned more about meditation and centering, and a couple books were introduced to me that just rocked me. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And those 2 books really impacted me at my core and made me realize that I was making myself into a victim. Nobody else was doing that to me. That was me. I was making those choices by my behavior and everything else, and the way I talked, the way I looked at things, and I literally had to change direction, which is the name of my book, and look at things from a different perspective to be able to get the results that I really wanted in my life. It did not serve me well.
So tell me, because, I felt the same, and I know a lot of other women that I've spoken to have that same thing happen to them where it seems like we're pre-programmed to do that, or somehow a lot of us are anyway. Don't you think?
Well, it's socially accepted and the way things are, and when things are socially accepted, then people, and there's a lot of people doing it, And it seems to be okay. It's kind of like my business. We were an average business, and I thought that was okay until I was fired by a consultant. And then I decided I wanted to be extraordinary, not average. And I decided I wanted that in my own personal life, too. I didn't want just an average life muddling through and surviving. I want to have an extraordinary life.
Yeah. So,
and to help encourage other people to have that.
That's awesome. And so it's really then, don't you think, a mindset? Is that what you would say?
Truly. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It starts with the way we think. And our thinking really impacts our behavior. But you got to know, I think that, and one of the things that my speeches that I've been doing this year, I come up with a word every year, and I've been molding this one this year that's really been impactful, sparking change to achieve results. And the things that I've noticed is that, the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, right?
Yep.
So if we wanted something different in our life, we have to be clear on what that is. And that's something that not many people are clear of. They're in the day-to-day, what do I want? What am I going to do today? What do I have to do today? But I think it's really important to look, Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind. And what do you want? If you were to die tomorrow, what do you want to be like? What do you want your life to be like? What are your lifetime goals? What are you working toward to achieve? And then reversing engineering and breaking that down in different chunks. So you got to know what you want and why is that important. So all these motions and activities are futile if we're not going someplace toward a destination of where we want to be. Right. And Jay, when you and Don go on your vacation, your trips to St. Martin, you know you're going to St. Martin, and then everything else is lined up to make that happen.
Yep. Yeah, and taking time for yourself is so important, and getting away from day-to-day life. Even if you can't afford to go away, just stepping outdoors and being quiet for a few hours at least. It really does help so much. So, how long were you in this sales job, and then what happened next?
Well, I did solo selling, and I was selling mobile homes, so it wasn't a glamorous sales job. But it did well. It really took care of us. I got promoted to the business office, so then I began doing financing and selling insurance. And I had a nice quality of life. My 3 kids and I were doing well. I lived in a nice place, and I was making some new friends, and life was really doing well. And I met Tony, my husband today, who is my 3rd husband, and I am his 3rd wife. And we just celebrated our 26th anniversary, so truly,
congratulations!
Thank you.
Yeah.
Third time is definitely a charm.
It's really funny you should say that, because I've never been married before Dawn, but I'm Dawn's 3rd wife.
Awesome. Yeah. Some of us are just slow learners.
Oh, well, that's awesome. And so, after you met Tony, did you immediately go into the business with him, or was that later?
No. We met, you'll love this, Jane, we met in 89, and at an event, and he said we should do lunch. I said that would be great. So I gave him my information. Never heard from him. A year later, we ran into each other at another event, and Tony was in his mid-30s, I was early 30s, and he was dating this very young blonde with no kids. And I went up to him, I said hi, and exchanged. I said, I think you owe me a lunch still. And his date looked at me like I had 3 heads.
That's funny.
Well, this was a year later. He said he knew I was trouble, and we finally had that lunch. And the crazy part, Jake, I said it was a very, very tacky Chinese restaurant down by where I was working. and it was located on Green Street. So how crazy is it that our first date would be on Green Street and we would create the Dream Manager?
That's a hoot. How funny is that?
Isn't that funny? You can't make that stuff up, right?
No, for sure not. So maybe you should tell the audience a bit about Jancoa and your journey there.
Okay, well, Tony and I were married for 2 years, and I was still in sales, and things were going pretty well for us. Blended family. I had 3 kids. He had 2 kids. Sundays was our family day, and then all of a sudden, my direct boss told me I had to start working on Sundays. That didn't work for us, and family was really important to us. As I said, we had both been married twice before. We were really working hard to make this one last. We didn't want another divorce in either one of our records. So we talked about what were our options. It decided it was time for me to join the family business. So that was in 93. So that's when I left my sales job there and started working with Tony. And there's nothing in my history that said I'd be a successful business owner or anything at all that would apply that. But we were determined to make it work. Tony had started our business when he was 19 years old, and his dad died from heart disease. And there was nothing that he knew about either. But, entrepreneurial spirit is one of the things I believe lays dormant in many of us until an opportunity arises and we allow it to arise and become who we're made to be instead of just going through the motions in life and being a chameleon. That's how I thought of myself. My first 30 years, I was a chameleon. I was whatever I needed to be for other people, and not being true to who I was made to be. So when I got in that environment, early in our relationship working together, Tony and I were having a spirited conversation, and basically I was asking him to tell me what to do in a situation. And he's flustered, and he's like, Mary, sometimes you just have to ask for forgiveness and to ask for permission. Just do what you believe is the right thing to do. And that was my go-to card. I believe it's sorry he ever told me that, because I move forward pretty fast and go after things that I may not have done in the past, because I trust myself more. I'm very strong in my faith and my rituals to feed myself with positive thinking and way of looking at things and getting clarity about what am I supposed to be doing and what impact can I make on other people's lives. And so we had this mediocre cleaning business, janitorial cleaning office buildings, 65 part-time employees in 93, average turnover 400%, and we decided we didn't want it that way anymore. We didn't want to be average. Things were coming at us that we didn't like the way they were going, so we changed directions in how we were doing business. And today we have an amazing team. We're up to almost 600 employees, and we're still just in the greater Cincinnati area. We created a business model for the service industry where you're serving your employees, your team members, by helping them get excited about what their dreams are and go after what they really are made to be in their life. We take care of our customers so they're not dealing with cleaning issues, and partner with great vendors so we have great collaboration. And we have a quality of life today that I would never have envisioned 30 years ago.
Right. And it's just amazing how you said all of this about becoming an entrepreneur and you never dreamt about it. It's really similar to us as well. It's amazing, because I didn't think I could do it either. Now I'm totally hooked.
I know I would make a horrible employee today, Jane. I don't know about you.
Yeah, me too.
Horrible employee.
Yeah. I don't know if I would be employable anymore. But anyway, hopefully I never have to face that. So tell us a bit about the Dream Manager program, because I think whether you're an employee or just an individual, it's a program that you can really sort of turn your dreams into reality.
Jane, that has been such a miracle in our life that at a time when we were in such desperation mode, we knew we had to do something different. So we started asking different questions like, if our team members were going to work for a cleaning company, why would they want to work for us? How can we create an environment that would attract people? And when we started asking these questions in the mid-'90s, there was 104 other cleaning companies just in this community. Mm-hmm. So we had a lot of competition. So we really had to look, and we weren't going after the competition. We wanted to change it where we were attracting people that want to work for us, that we were attracting companies who wanted us to clean their facility and they wanted to do work with us. And that's the part that's been really amazing today we're like one of the top 3 cleaning companies in the city, and we were a little mom and pop cleaning company, and we're not anymore. And it was because of I heard somebody describe it recently in an event that really made sense. Tony and I were so much in the selfish leadership role of trying to take care of our quality of life and what we needed. And the minute we switched to servant leadership to serve our team members and our customers and our vendors, our life got better, their life got better, and it attracted way more and different things in our life. And it was the type of things that we did. If you read the book, The Dream Manager by Matthew Kelly, it really goes into a parable story of what we accomplished. But Matthew does a great job of the how-to section in the back of the book, the second section of the book.
Yep.
And we didn't want the book to be about us, but about the program. And now 10 years later, what we have found is that it's a great program to get people to start dreaming. It's in 15 languages. And so people, companies and families and individuals are all dreaming bigger and differently because of this program that we created out of desperation. And it's just been amazing to watch and see, and to be able to think bigger, to go after what's possible instead of just dealing with what comes your way.
Right.
So Matthew Kelly was a best-selling author and was introduced to us by a mutual friend. Actually, the same friend that introduced Tony and I to each other introduced us to Matthew. You can't make this stuff up, Jane.
No. It was certainly totally meant to be, okay?
Yeah. And he said, these are great stories. You should write a book. And we laugh. And he says, no, I'm serious. These are great stories. You should write a book. So finally he came to us and said, okay, I want to write this book. What can we work out? So we licensed the concept to Matthew to write the book about this program that we created to help people go after their dreams. People bought homes, first-generation homeowners. They'd never bought a home. We didn't make it happen for them, but we connected them to the agencies and programs that could make that happen, right, and kind of basically held their hand through that wall of fear that was preventing them from going after what they really wanted in their life.
Yeah, that's so sweet. In fact, we have had the Dream Manager program with our company for a long time, although a lot of the employees don't always want to participate. But we have had it. I teamed up with another company because we're small companies.
That's really great. And one thing I would like to caution you on is just because they're not physically involved in something that you're doing doesn't mean that they haven't changed their thinking. We had one young man who told me, he stopped me intentionally. He says, I want you to know, even though I'm not going to any of those dream meetings, that I've always dreamt, and he was quite the introvert, and he was very private. He said, I always wanted to play the guitar. So I bought a guitar, and I bought a book, and I'm teaching myself how to play the guitar. And I would never have done that if I hadn't been hearing all the conversations about all these people going after their dreams.
Oh, that's awesome.
So people watch us. Regardless of what we're doing in our life, people are paying attention. They're watching us. We have to be aware. Whoever is listening to this, wherever you are in your life, there is somebody that you are influencing by your behavior, whether it's positive or negative. They're watching you, and they're making choices because of something they saw you say or do.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Thank you for reminding me of that. That's a good reminder. So that's one of the things that really changed the direction of your company, right?
Right. Truly.
Yeah.
Truly, and that's. I mean, we can never once we start fixing our retention and getting people excited about getting driver's license, learning English, not having a home in a safe area, and doing things with their children, really changing that life and being intentional about what they want and what they were doing to go after it. Mm-hmm. And it really made a huge difference for all of us.
Yep.
So that was the part that we were really picking up on. And all of a sudden our retention is 300% better than our industry average. So that allowed us to start doing things different with our processes and our efficiencies. So all of a sudden we're doing this thing that everybody says, well, that's just warm fuzzy stuff. But we were becoming more profitable. We were starting to grow. We grew 17% last year, Jane, without a sales team.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because people want to be part of what we're doing.
That's so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So cool. So I know Janitorial is a big part of what you do, but you're also a strategic coach. And can you just share a little about strategic coach so that the audience has an idea what that is all about?
Well, strategic coach is integral in our life. We met at a self-improvement workshop that the year we got married, we both started calling it strategic coach. So we've been a client to strategic coach for 26 years, and we've been married for 26 years.
Wow.
So I don't think there's a coincidence there at all. I think that's very lined up. So strategic coach is a program for successful entrepreneurs to be able to excel what they're doing, what they love to do, what they're made to do, and be able to grow their business, but most important, to improve their quality of life. And so if your last day was tomorrow, you would be at peace with the quality of life that you had and what you've achieved and who you spent your time with. And you were doing what you were made to do. And I'm actually got a flight in a couple hours heading to Chicago where I coach workshops for strategic coach. I've been one of their coaches for 15 years now. So it's absolutely what I love to do, whether it's Dream Manager, Jan Koa, or professional speaking and coaching with changing direction, is to get people really excited about and clear what are they made to be and how can they make that happen in their life. And it always is a huge ripple effect that impacts other lives in a positive way.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of strategic coach and what it stands for. And you and Patty and Shannon, everybody is so nice and just wonderful people and so knowledgeable.
Oh, thank you. It is a great program that's changed a lot of lives.
Yeah, for sure. So I have a few questions I'd like to go through if you don't mind. The first one is, was there a book? I know you've mentioned a couple of books already, but was there a conference or some other motivational leader that may have affected you and how that changed your life and why? Do you have someone that you look to as a mentor?
I listen to spiritual podcasts every morning. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in addition to the spiritual podcast I think it's just important for us to be aware of what we're feeding our brain as the food we feed our bodies. Our brain, the way we think, really impacts our actions. Our actions become repetitive behavior, which becomes habits, which creates the results. If you want to change the results in your life, you have to take a look at what the habits you have are. So I've developed a habit of starting in the morning, of exercising every morning and listening to a podcast that will feed me with positive information that will start my day in a better direction to achieve the results that I want each day. Mm-hmm. And there's so many different podcasts. I really for me, I would highly recommend for your listeners to be very intentional about who you're listening to. Is this something that's going to help improve your quality of life and move you in the direction to achieve what you're made to do with your life? There's no way any of us, and I'm a fact finder, I love learning, and I can't keep up with all the podcasts and books and everything else that's out there. So I really, part of my prayer is for me to attract what I need to know to do what I'm made to do. Yeah. And we too many of us have been in that FOMO, fear of missing out mode, that it prevents us from really absorbing and getting the information that we need to have to be who we're made to be.
Yeah. So great. Thank you for that. What one thing has helped you most in your journey from where you were to where you are today?
For me, it's really been my faith. I have a very strong faith, and I have great respect for however people choose to practice their faith. Mm-hmm. I know that there's a higher being in the universe. For me, I'm a Christian, so that's a very important part for me. But I don't want to take away from what other people need to do. But that's my faith, and I know that, God and the Lord has helped me get to where I'm at, and I know that I haven't gotten where I'm at just to fail at this point. And so having that blind faith and moving forward, and as I move forward, what I believe is supposed to happen, all these amazing divine interventions happen and attract other people and things in my life that just enrich it and make it even better.
Yeah.
So my faith has really been the biggest hurdle, because left to myself, I'll screw things up. It's like the dream manager. It's getting bigger all the time. And Tony and I have done so many things that just feels like it's blowing up and messing it up. And it just keeps coming back bigger and stronger.
That's amazing. Yeah, I totally understand. What is the most important thing you can do for yourself, and why?
I think it's really important, Jane, for us to honor ourselves. To honor ourselves in a way to know that we are all made with amazing talents and gifts and dreams. And those talents and gifts are given to us to be able to achieve the dreams we were born with. And I believe the adventure in life is when our dreams and the talent and gifts come together, and that's when passion comes alive. And we've all seen people, whether it's in movies or TV or in real life, that have great passion, and it's contagious. We want to be part of that, have that in our life. And that works by honoring ourselves and the gifts that we were given and using those to not just benefit our lives, but to be able to benefit others.
Beautiful. Yeah, I so agree. So you were mentioning this, but is there anything else that you do on a daily basis that helps propel you forward?
Well, after I got over years of sleep deprivation, with the dogs, we have a 24/7 business and the 5 kids and always something somewhere going on. I realized that I cannot sacrifice my health to take it, because if I die tomorrow, my universe is gone. I'm not there anymore. So I want to live a long time, and the only way I'm going to live a long time is by taking care of ourselves. Just like we take care of our cars or other things in our life, but we rarely look in the mirror and say, okay, what can I do to take better care of myself? So I make sure I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I'm very aware of what type of food I'm eating and how much I'm eating. And that's not mastered. It's a process. It's, progress, not perfection, but that's my intentionality. So my sleep, my diet, exercise, if you don't move, use it or lose it, You got to keep that ticker going, and that's important to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So diet, exercise, and all those things, taking care of our physical being will improve our mental being as well.
Oh, absolutely. So, do you ever have any negative thoughts? And if you do, or when you do, How do you manage to turn them into something positive?
One of the chapters on my book is actually about thinking positive.
Cool.
It's so important. And the quote that I have on page 89 in my book, excuse me, it's from the book that I talked earlier, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Oh, no, actually, this is Norman Vincent Peale, they kind of studied each other. When you change your thoughts, you change the world. And I think that's a really, really important part. And, it's really interesting. What I notice most in my life is the biggest compliment I get from people is on my laugh. I laugh hardy and loud. It's a contagious thing, and 90% of the people like it. There's the 10% that I heard this one guy on the phone was, sorry, I couldn't hear you. Some woman had this horrible laugh right by me. And I laughed at that. It's like any fountain. A fountain of water cannot spew sweet and salty water at the same time.
No.
If our thinking is going down the negative path, we're responsible to change channels and change that direction. Just like you do with the TV set, if the commercial comes on, you change the channel. We can't control the thoughts that pop in our head, but we're totally responsible for what we do with those thoughts. Yeah. So it's really important that we take charge of that part of our life and intentionally change that channel, change activities, read something, whatever, create some kind of habit that will reinforce the positive thinking, not the negative thinking. But as human beings, we all deal with it.
Yeah, and laughing is so good for the soul.
It is. It truly is. And we have to be careful who we surround ourselves with. Some people will feed that negativity to where we think it's okay, and not just okay, but we're righteous and just in our negativity. But it's not going to get you the results that you want.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because that was my next question. It's like, what type of people do you surround yourself with?
I'm going to have to send you my changing direction card that I've been using with my Spark Change to achieve results, because almost every one of these questions is a point in my conversations that I'm having, because the connection is a huge piece. There was a great quote, and I can't remember who it's from. You can predict your future based on the books you read and the people you spend time with. And, people talk about networking, that we have to create an inner circle of people that will support us to help us be who we're made to be. Not just yes people to make us, to coddle us and comfort us every step of the way, but to encourage us and support us to go through the tough stuff, to be honest about where we're at and where do we want to go. And as long as we don't surround ourselves with those type of people, you're not going to get the results that you want, and frustration will just continue to grow.
Yeah, when I think about that, I often think about the well, Joe has taken it to a whole nother level, but it was first introduced to us by Joe Polish, the Genius Network exercise, not the Genius Network itself, but just sitting there thinking about the types of people you would like to be with on a regular basis, and what those people mean to you, and what value you can give to those people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with the audience today?
Well, I think that if people are curious about next steps and what they can do, my book, Changing Direction, 10 Choices That Impact Your Dream, might help them get some ideas of different ways of doing things, and that is available on Amazon. So it's easy to get. It's also, I recorded it, so it's available on Audible. So if you're not a big reader and you'd rather listen like to the podcast, you can listen to me read the book to you. My mom downloaded the Audible, and she said, it's really good. It read exactly like the book I read.
That's funny. Well, great. So what I'll do is I'll ask your assistant to send me links to everything, and we can post them with the podcast on our website. So that's a resource for all of the people that are listening.
That would be great. But I think the number one most important, Jane, for everybody is take a look in the mirror and really ask yourself, what do you love to do? What is it you do? When you're doing it, time just flies by, and people always are giving you compliments because you do it so well. Mm-hmm. And then how can you put those things into your life? Because those are the things that will feed you and will make a big difference for your life and the life of people that you care for around you.
Yeah, that's so true. So true. Well, I'm so excited to have spoken to you this morning and shared your story with our listeners. And I really hope to see you sometime soon in the future.
That would be lovely, Jane. I look forward to that day. Until then, consider yourself hugs.
Oh. Thank you again, Mary. And we look forward to speaking with you again soon. We hope you enjoyed this enchanting conversation today, and we look forward to having a new conversation with you in our next show. Our shows will be broadcast approximately every 2 weeks. We wish you much love and light in your life today. Thank you.